Okay. You want to reach your goals and fulfill your potential, become
Well, you
intentional
are cutting in and
about
out. I can
your
barely hear you.
personal growth. It will change your life. That was said by John Maxwell. Welcome to Motivational Monday Life. And we are having a special program today. It's New Beginning Conference. And we already have in the studio the co-hosts for the show today, Brenda Ringwood. You're welcome, Brenda.
Well, thanks for having me. Your connection's a little bad. You're cutting in and out, but we'll do the best we can.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry we are starting minutes, 30 minutes behind schedule. I'm really sorry about that. I do hope that as we progress, that more of our guests are going to join us as we progress.
Yes, they are currently in meetings. We had a time snafu today, so we are up and running. But John Bull, you are cutting out.
Oh, okay. The network, probably it's the network. I'm sure that it will get better.
Okay, I didn't understand you.
Okay, but did you hear what I said? Can you hear me?
Barely. I'm only hearing a couple of every other word or so.
Okay. So, friends, it's New Beginning Conference. I want to say once again, it's a new year and it's our first show for the year 2022. So I'm really excited, and our guests are prepared to speak to us and to share with us things that we need to have new beginning, because it's not just enough to say Happy New Year, but what matters is having a new beginning, a new life, and that's what this conference is all about. It's meant to encourage us, to motivate us, to share with us tips and secrets that we will need to have a new life, a new beginning at such a time like this. So, Brenda,
Absolutely.
thank you so much. So, Brenda, can you share with us a little bit about yourself as we progress in the show today?
Yes. I like to call myself a professor of change because I believe that people can change. I believe that they deserve a second chance, and I believe that they shouldn't let their past or what other people think or fear stop them in becoming a better version of themselves. So for me, it's a daily battle, but I strive to be a better person than I was yesterday or the day before. And before you know it, when you add up each of those days of being better, years have gone by, and you have now created a better version of yourself. So, and that's not just for your job or your family; it is for life in general. You can always be a better boss, always be a better employee, a better spouse, a better daughter, a better child, grandparent, whatever it is that you are. You can always become better.
Wow, that's powerful. You can always become better. And when you become better, it means you are growing. And that growth has to be intentional. And that's exactly the things that we are sharing in the program today. Thank you so much, Brenda, for that powerful opening speech. Now, I want to say that, you mentioned something about second chance. So I look at it that if God allowed you to get into the new year, it means that He's giving you another chance to become better in life.
Yes, absolutely. I believe in that. Every day that you wake up, God's given you another chance to do better. He's given you another chance to follow His will. He's given you another chance to prove that you are worthy. I think we've lost him
And
again.
okay, I'm right here, and that is an opportunity because God giving you another chance, giving you another year. It's an opportunity that should not be squandered. It's an opportunity that should not be wasted. It's an opportunity that should not be messed up, and that's why we are talking about intentional growth. So. Um,
Right.
yeah, so tell us something about intentional growth.
Well, for me, intentional growth means doing just that, growing intentionally, that you are wanting to change and that you are taking the steps to change. And personal growth is something that we should all strive to do because, it's kind of like when you're a kid, you understand things, but you don't fully understand things. And as you grow older, you start to experience life and then things really become clear to you and you start to understand things more. So with that, your mindset opens up and you see things clearly. They say hindsight is always 2020 because when you see it after you've done it, you understand and see things better. So you should always try to possibly, before you do something, is to look and see, is this how I want to be treated? Is this the way I would want to be spoken to if you're in a situation? So you need to change your mindset, which also means changing your words and changing your actions. It's changing your thought process to become better.
Wow, that's powerful. Thank you so much, Brenda, for that. That's so powerful. I really love that. See, you said something. You said something that strikes me so much. You said that intentional growth is wanting to grow, wanting to be better,
Yes,
wanting to improve. So you have to desire it. You have to want it. You have to, show that it's something that you need. So, viewers out there, is a new year. What are the areas in your life in which you need to want to grow? Is it in your business? Is it in your relationships? Is it in your spiritual life? You know, or is it in your health or even in your maybe fitness? So there are different aspects that you need to want to grow. You must want it because if you don't want it,
absolutely.
it's not going to happen.
That's right. And a lot of people, for things that they really want, they say, I don't have the money to do that, or it's too hard to lose weight. But if you're a smoker, you find the money for those cigarettes. If you drink alcohol, you find the money for that alcohol. If you are an overeater, you find the money for that food that you eat. So if it's something that you really want, you find a way to do it. So for me, it's putting, I don't smoke and I'm not a drinker, but I just use those as examples. But for me, it's
Yeah.
putting what I really want into a priority list and then figuring out how to go about getting it. And if you really want to lose weight, you're going to lose weight. If you really want to stop smoking, you're going to stop smoking. And, it's a mindset. It is an absolute mindset. So if you want to change your actions, then you have to start doing differently. And one step at a time is how you do it. I think he's froze up.
Oh, I'm here. I'm here. I can hear you clearly, Brenda.
Yep, you're coming in, just you're all foggy and mangled up there, but that's okay. But intentional means doing it on purpose. So if you want to hang around a certain group of friends, you tend to hang around a certain group of friends, and those people may or may not be good for you. So if you're in that situation, you should be surrounding yourself with people who are going to support you, who are going to encourage you to do better and not make fun of you or say, why do you need to do that? We like you just the way you are, because no matter who you are and where you are in life, you can always do and be better. If there's a subject you want to learn about, you read up on it. I study the Bible. So in order for me to learn God's word, I have to read God's word. I have to study it. I have to apply it. And then if I don't understand it, then I go to commentaries or to pastors or to people who understand it to share that with me and to help me to see it in a different way. And that's what you have to do with your habits. To form better habits, you have to actually research it, and then you have to apply it to your life, and you have to make a conscious decision that you're not going to do the old habits and you're going to replace them with the newer, better habits.
Wow. Thank you so much, Brenda. You are such an amazing speaker, an amazing influencer. You are actually influencing a lot of people to be better in many of the things that you do. I've been following you as your friend, and we've done several things together, and you have truly been a blessing to me and many other people out there. Thank you so much, Brenda, for those powerful words. And I love that analogy you used. You said many people, they don't have they claim they don't have the resources or the money or the time to grow positively, but they have the time and the money and resources to grow negatively. And that's when you use the analogy of the smoking and the drinking and stuff like that. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's so powerful. So, viewers out there, we need to make it on purpose. You need to have a purpose. You need to desire that this year, 2022, you want to grow. You want to grow positively. You want to grow in the right side. You want to grow in the right things. And Brenda, I would like to ask you this question. What are some of the things that one can do in order to grow intentionally?
Well, first you have to find out what your priorities are. So, what I do is I tend to make a list of the things that I really want to change about me. And then I put them in a level of priority of most importance to least importance. And then I try to figure out a way to make that happen, being if it's quickly or if it's going to be a long-term process. And then I try to structure myself to do that, just like with losing weight. You have to change your diet, you have to exercise. It's a complete lifestyle. It's not going to happen overnight. And that is how change happens. It is gradual. It's not overnight. You're not wake up one morning and say, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. And then you go to your friends and your family and you say, hey, I woke up this morning, I'm not that person anymore. They're going to say, yeah, right. We'll see. Let's wait till tomorrow. But 6 months down the road, a year down the road, and you're still making those positive changes, now they're saying there's something different about her. She really is doing this. Just like with weight loss, 6 months down the road, a year later, when you've dropped some weight, people are saying, wow, she said it, and now she's doing it. That's what you have to be. You have to commit to yourself, and you have to commit to making it a lifestyle change, not just, I say I'm going to do this, so I'm doing it. You have to prove it. And I
Hey,
see we have Sara with us now.
yes, 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 yes. Yeah, friends, we have one of our guests with us, Sarah. She's a poet, she's a speaker, and she's also an author. She's an amazing speaker who has positively touched a lot of lives in the US and even beyond. So let's make welcome Sarah Mingo.
Hi, everyone. It's Sara Mingus. Thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, Brenda, and thank you to Prince. I'm really happy to be here.
Wow, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Sarah, we're already discussing about intentional growth because it's a new year, and in this new year, we need to grow. Everyone needs growth in one aspect of their lives, one or the other. So, we are discussing about intentional growth. So, Sarah, I would like to ask you, how can we stop comparing ourselves with others if we are going to grow? Because if you are going to grow, if you keep comparing yourself with others, that growth is not going to be possible. So how can we stop comparing ourselves with others?
So, first, it's about honoring your uniqueness and your greatness and how awesome you are yourself. And if you don't believe that you are, doing some reflective inner work about finding those skills or traits that either you like or other people that you trust have said that they really like, whether you're a really nice person, whether you're a dynamic entrepreneur, or whether you have great ideas or very compassionate, whatever that might be. And I actually read a poem a few years ago called My Fight with Barbie. And I don't know of a woman or a man or a non-gender identifying person who hasn't once compared themselves to somebody else. So I wrote this poem inspired by my clients, and I thought I would just briefly perform it. It's really short, but it kind of talks about how we often compare ourselves to Barbie and why we really don't want to be Barbie after all. My fight with Barbie. Barbie and I had a fight last night. She is tired of being silenced, but thinks admiration ain't so bad. Me, I am tired of being compared to her hourglass perfect figure. So I fall short when she rises. Still, I think I prefer to keep my voice instead of being plastic silence. So the idea is that we all have our flaws, but they're not really flaws. They're what makes us human and alive. And it's really about embracing that. And Brenda had talked about dieting, and I actually am working on a blog on why diets don't work and will fail you every single time. And the whole idea behind that is diets don't work because they're not intended to be there for the long term. Diets, we will make changes in our immediate lives to lose some weight. But the reality is we either gain that weight back or we gain even more weight after we're done with the diet. Lifestyle changes are things that you can imagine yourself doing 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. That's a real lifestyle change. And I get a lot of people, it's January, people really want to be losing weight, making health and wellness changes. And I say, be honest with yourself about what changes you're actually willing to make and stick with. I tell people, don't go out and buy a treadmill or a membership at a gym if 6 months, a year from now, you're not still going to want to do that because it's going to be a waste of your money. That you really have to commit and be dedicated. And I believe not so much in priorities, but following your heart and what makes your heart sing and what changes that you really want to make, not changes other people tell you need to make, but changes that you really want to make. For example, I wear a Fitbit around my wrist, and I've done that for the last 3 years. When it's not on my wrist, when I have to charge it, or I'm in the shower, I really need to watch it. It feels strange because it's not there, but it's a great tool for me to help me to keep track of how much I'm sleeping, how many steps I'm walking, all of that great stuff. And I created a program called the Goddess Plan that focuses on lifestyle changes and ditching that diet and really being about loving yourself inside and out. And when you love yourself deeply, I'm talking 10 layers deep, there's very little that other people and the world around you can do to interfere with that when you have a goal and you're committed to it and you love yourself in the process along the way.
Absolutely. That's wonderful advice. You do have to love yourself. And sometimes that's hard because we don't think we're worthy. And sometimes you also have to forgive yourself of some of your past mistakes so it doesn't interfere in your future.
Absolutely.
Jean-Paul, I think Jessica is trying to log on. She's having a little bit of issues, so she'll be on shortly. I've sent her the other link, so you might want to watch for her. But, Sara brought up lifestyle too, because if you're truly going to change, it is a lifestyle. Otherwise, it's not change. If you're going to go back to where you were, it's not change. It is a temporary displacement of where you were that you're going to go right back to. So, if you really truly, if you have a weight problem and you need to lose weight, then it is a lifestyle change or it's going to come back. If you want to quit smoking, it is a
If you
lifestyle.
allow me, I would like to mention something there. You just said something that is so powerful. You said if you are making a change, then you don't have to go back. That's
Right.
very powerful. And I would like to speak to the audience to tell them this is a new year. Don't go back to the things that you did last year, the things that made you depressed, the things that made you not to be happy, the things that made you not to be fulfilled, the things that made you not to fulfill your purpose. Don't go back to those things. And that's why we are talking about intentional growth. You've got to see how you can improve yourself, make yourself better.
Yep, absolutely. We lost him. He said to keep talking if that happens. But what are you doing? What are you doing right now to change your life to become a better person? What's something that you're doing, Sara?
I am challenging myself to put together a book and write the book that I've been talking about writing for quite a while now, and not being hard on myself if I don't write enough pages each day, and really being kind in that process. And also, I'm writing the manual to the Goddess Plan, and I'm really getting inside the hearts and souls of my clients about what are those. It's great to say we know we should probably do this or it's helpful, but really, what
Right.
are those blocks to that? Oh, I don't feel like I can do it. I tried it before and it didn't work, and then I gained even more weight, and who am I to say I can do this? Or everyone in my family is saying there's no way she'll be able to do this. And really, I'm helping people and having sections in there to remind them, okay, when you get stuck, it's okay to take have a whole pass day. It's okay to do that. Too many times diets, they're rigid, they're structured, they don't give us any outs. So really kind of tapping into the idea that this is not a diet. These are about eating foods that you love when you're hungry, and
Yeah.
really kind of tapping into that, and also making time to just write poetry just for me and making that time. Oftentimes I do that for work or to help people, and then really getting
Mhm.
back to just enjoying doing that myself. And I'm also working on doing my success list every day. I tell my clients, so that's really helpful. So I bought a new notebook, and I've been doing a good job with that since the beginning of the year, knowing that if I miss a day, that's okay.
Oh,
So that's kind of
absolutely
what
it
I'm
is
working
because life gets in the way sometimes. But when just to make sure that you go back to doing it, for me, I'm working on relationships. I'm trying to rebuild and reconnect and fix and create new because uh, as humans, we are relationship people and they mean a lot because when you have an argument with somebody or somebody's done you wrong or you've done them wrong, all you think about is that moment, what you could have did differently, what you could have said differently, and it just consumes so much of your time. So for me, I'm trying to choose the people that I have in my life that are going to be meaningful, that are going to be my tribe, that are going to want to see me succeed. And I'm not leaving the other people out of it, but I'm just communicating with them on a completely different level. Hi, how are you? I don't have to share my hopes and dreams with the world. I only need to share it with those who want to be part of it. It doesn't mean you can't have a relationship with somebody else, but they're different types of relationships.
I love that you said that. I've been reading the book, The Art of Showing Up, and it's the idea that
Yes,
not everyone can be part of your tribe. Doesn't mean you don't
that's
care
right.
about it. Doesn't mean you don't wish them the best. But we don't have time to invest that kind of level of investment and show
Mhm.
up for everyone. And we shouldn't. We should have a tribe of core people that we know when everything falls apart, we have people that we can talk to because they're part of our tribe, that we know that they will be
Yes.
there, we can talk to. And let's be honest, a lot of people either we don't have that relationship with them or they don't want to show up. They
Mhm.
sometimes people feel comfortable with just having more of a surfacey relationship, and there's nothing wrong with that. So I've been weeding out
Yeah.
my people in my life. I wish them the best, and still great to hear from them, but I'm not investing in people that aren't investing on me. There's a great relationship and dating coach and I can't think of his name right now, but that's where I got that from. Invest in people who are investing in you. So I really have been acting with intention on that. And here's to 2022 and really, loving your life. I had COVID last December, Christmas week, actually, and it really opened my eyes about what made me happy and what didn't. And so I'm on a quest to continually be happy and surround myself with my people while being open to new experiences and new people to add to that. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah, and it is important. And sometimes we even have to, you include your family because you love them, and you want to be part of them, but they're not always going to see eye to eye with what you're wanting to do. But because they're also your family, you can't disown them. You still have to love them, but it doesn't mean you have to share everything with them. Some things are just better left unsaid. And who wants to be around the Debbie Downers and the negativity? And you write poetry. I'm sure you've had some family members say, "Yeah, right. You're not going to make a living at that. Why do you do that?" I draw. No, I don't make a living at it, but I love what it does for me. It is a de-stressor, and it takes my mind and it forces it into a different process to where I'm focusing on something completely different and I'm creating, and then all the other thoughts just go away. And sometimes you need that because that's what sleep does for you. So when you're not tired, if you have another avenue that you can reach out to uh, calm and change your mind, great. And if you can make money at it, that's even better. So that's what I look at. I look at ways that I can improve just me and not focus on got to have a paycheck for it.
I am back in my play therapist days. I would often talk with my clients about the importance of play, and I do that with my coaching clients too. About playing is just doing something enjoyable for you, and we need
Yeah,
that. When we do that, it re-energizes our batteries. It makes us better people. It allows us to decompress, and we all need that. There's a reason why people go to happy hour. There's a reason why they have girls' days out or guys' days out. It's because they need to reconnect with their people and do things they just really enjoy doing. And I'm all for that. But it's great to make a living at what you're passionate about, but it's also great to just pick up a pen or a paintbrush or whatever your medium is and just enjoy the moment and just be.
absolutely. That's why it's called a hobby. That's why it's something that you enjoy, that you have an interest in, that isn't necessarily about what you do for a living. And a lot of times people think they all have to go together, and they can, and it's great when it works out that way. But let's face it, most of us have to have a regular job. And then the interest that we have around us is what we do in our extra time, hoping that maybe one day it can turn into something else. For some it does, for some it doesn't, but that's okay too. That's okay too. But I also tell people, look, if that's what you really want to do and you're already making some money at it, how can you restructure your finances so that you can afford to live on what you like to do? Maybe you don't need that big house or that Cadillac or, all of these subscriptions you have to cable TV stuff. There's so many things that you can cut out of your life that before you know it will be hundreds of dollars that you don't even realize that you're spending, that might open up the doors for you to have the gas to go read your poetry at things or to go speak and start getting seen and getting noticed for the things that you do, or to buy the supplies for that craft that you want to do. There's so many, like I said, if you want it, you find a way to do it.
There's a research article that came out about how when we're our happiest, it's not because we've bought material things or that. It's about the experience of life that we have. And those joyful experiences are things that actually make us feel happy when we're unhappy, when we can recall those. Or it's living your life. You can't take your granite countertop with you to heaven or wherever it is that you believe in. I actually have a granite countertop and I love it, but I dreamed about it for years and I still get to do what I love and live in a city I love, go Nashville, and all of those wonderful things. And I did that because I was intentional about it. And one of the other tools that I love to share with people is visualize your success. You mentioned poetry. So when my first book came out a few years ago, none of my family really had gone to any poetry events. I had been performing for over 10 years, and then the book came out. So most of them showed up in droves to the book release, and that was great. But before the book release, I had a freak out moment of what if no one comes and what if no one shows up? Oh no. And of course, my publisher talked me down and said, Sarah, I don't think you'll have a problem. But what I did is I visualized what it would feel like to sign my autograph in a book I had written. Writing a book was always my dream. And I was fortunate that that was realized after the passing of my mother. So that's a bittersweet thing. But her death was the catalyst of my pushing myself and doing that. So as I'm visualizing that happening, what actually ended up happening was not only did people come, we had a sold out show and I sold out of books. So
that's wonderful. See? Yeah.
Yeah. So visualize that success. And if you have people in your life who are negative, who think you can't do it, I love one of Brene Brown's quotes, and it says, if you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked just like me, I'm not interested in your feedback. What that really means is that not that they don't care, but it's that their opinion does not have the credibility that someone who's written a book of poetry or has gotten up on a stage or has done those things and can relate or has put themselves out of their comfort zone and been vulnerable. And listen, if they're not willing to do that, they're just criticizing to criticize because either they wish they'd been able to have the courage to do that, or they don't really understand what you're doing. And so keep that in mind, because I think too many times we get derailed, not because we don't believe in ourselves, but because people we love don't believe in what we're doing. And because we love them, we listen too much to what other outside people are saying instead of focusing and honing in on our goals and believing in what we're doing and seeking guidance and feedback from trusted mentors or people who are doing what we want to do. That's very different than just listening to your family. I'm really the only true entrepreneur in my family. I have some entrepreneurs that are, it's their second career and already retired and thought they want to do something else, but I'm really the only one that's been their first career. So it's very different. So I've just learned to not share a lot of those things with my family.
There's just some things that you don't. Yes, I completely get that. I've been self-employed since high school, and that's just been my whole life. And my family knows that about me now. But when I first started wanting to do my first business, my own father said, yeah, right. Yeah, right. But at the age of 19, 20 years old, I really had not given him a reason to think anything different, right? Because I hadn't accomplished that much myself. He's just seeing this high school teenager that's just graduated and now wants to go after this big dream. Well, later he became my head of HR and vice president of my company. So, he doesn't say that anymore. And he's, he's a big fan now. Yes. So,
we need to write down the dates of the dates when our family apologized and says, you know what, you were right. I should have believed in you.
That's right. I'm seeing Simone Rose comment. She says, we must believe in ourselves. At times we must be our biggest motivation. And that is so true, because if you don't believe in yourself, you're never going to get it done. And I too always wanted to be an author, and I never found the time to do it. It wasn't that I couldn't write, because I did proposals for a living. I wrote 300-page proposals to present to corporations, in a matter of a couple of days. So why can't I write a book? So I finally just decided that's what I was going to do, and I did it. Now I'm on my third one that's published. I've got 2 more coming right behind it. And, it's what I wanted to do. Are they going to make money? Who knows? But I did it for myself, so it really doesn't matter. And, I have this little legacy now that I can leave for my family, and hopefully encourage other people who want to write to just get out there and do it. Also, if there's something that you really want to change about yourself, go research how others have done it, and then see what might be a way that you can do it. Everybody's got their own opinion of things, but they might have a process that you might be able to follow. So it's okay to go out there and do that research and then apply it to your life. And if that doesn't work, then go try something else. But you got to find what works for you. So I don't think we're going to be able to have Maude and Jessica on, because it looks like we lost John Bull, which it's his feed. So until he comes back on, so we'll probably cut this off here in a minute. Stay tuned tomorrow. We had a timing because we're in the U.S. and we have some folks here that are on different time zones as well. didn't correspond with John Bull's. So we are doing it tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time on USA time. So I'm not sure how that reflects to the folks out in Africa and other parts of the world. But, if you want to get in touch with us, look us all up. I'm at Brenda Ringwood on pretty much all of the social media. Message me. I'm on WhatsApp at